I'm Bridget Bigger. I'm the agent for the Lifo method in the UK and the Middle East. I first got trained in it in 1989 when I was a self-employed training consultant, and used it a lot in my training, whether it be management development, supervisory skills, customer service. Time management was very popular, and I found it really effective for that. And then I started using it more with teams and team development, and then as I became more experienced and worked with more senior teams, I started using it to really identify how was the team working, how was it gelling, how was it coming across to the organisation, particularly once working with boards and the really senior leadership teams. And so over that period, I really started developing materials for the instrument as well as using it in my training. And in 2001, I had the opportunity to acquire the business, so I became the agent, which means that I now, in the UK and also in the Middle East, can train other trainers and consultants to use it. It's been really interesting. The survey and the scoring system has been the same ever since Stuart Atkins designed it, and it's been highly validated and researched, and its psychometric properties are very strong. Materials have been developed over the years, and in the last, I suppose, 8 to 9 years, we've really seen an increase in leadership and focus from organisations on leadership and leadership skills, and the ability of Lifo to combine with other leadership models, whether it be a leadership competency framework in an organisation or models such as situational leadership or authentic leadership, the whole emotional intelligence movements from Daniel Goleman's books. It all chimed incredibly well with that. And so we found that Lifo, whilst the fundamental product, if you like, is the same, the way you can apply it is being expanded all the time. The way it asks the questions gets at people's truth, even though that might not be what they think they ought to be. So somehow it does bring out the real person. Secondly, it is straightforward with a great depth underneath it, and the applications of it are far wider. I think people can see that they can use it for them, they can see their colleagues in it, they can understand there's a second layer of interpretation which says, this is how I set out to be, but actually this is what I really do, and the two aren't the same. And then again, this is how I think I come across to others. But is that right? Oh, I want some feedback on that. So it suddenly takes you along a really interesting journey. And then when you use it in teams, you can really start seeing those dynamics working together. And it's one of the few instruments you can really use as well to look at things like organisational culture and how values drive the behaviours that are driving the success or otherwise of an organisation. I did work with a senior leadership team, and they really enjoyed giving each other feedback. We have some methodology, you know, around the strengths, and everyone says, this is what I think I'm good at, you know, using the tool, and they give each other strength, you know, the feedback. But we got to that so what moment, and I put up on the chart a graph of all of their scores and said, so what do you see? And it was like I lit a blue touch paper, because they suddenly went, oh my goodness, look, we're all in that quadrant. No wonder our meetings are X, and no wonder the organisation thinks we are Y. And I actually said nothing for an hour and a half as they debated what was going right, what was going wrong. The instrument itself and the scores just explained what they'd been struggling with for the last 18 months.